Hey there Trekkies, my name is Michael aka the TrekLad and welcome back to my channel. I have just watched Star Trek Discovery's third season episode, Scavengers, and yes, I have some thoughts. First of all, off the bat, really like what they're doing with the Discovery itself, the ship. Now, I did see on Twitter that there was some negative feedback with regards to the new registry. I don't really care. It's a new show, it's a new start, and it's a new ship. And if you think about it, in universe, with the whole kind of temporal accords thing, and I guess having to kind of explain how a ship has come out of nowhere, I guess it makes sense to rechristen the ship, just to kind of cover their tracks. So I have absolutely no problem with that at all. I like the cosmetic changes to the outer hull. I like some of the subtle changes that we're seeing, and maybe some of the not so subtle changes as well. I really like the new nacelles, the programmable matter allowing the nacelles to disconnect from the main hull. No idea how it's going to work, but that's the wonderful thing about where the show's set now. We can have so much stuff explained to us, and you know, it's really given the showrunners this awesome new platform to just throw some new future stuff out there. I'm all for it. I like everything that's going on in Discovery at the moment with regards to the ship and the crew. It's really fun to see the bridge crew get used to the whole programmable matter, consoles and all that kind of stuff, and I like that. The new comm badges as well, I guess, you know, the whole holo technology and all that kind of stuff, it's fine. I would have liked to have seen the new uniforms though. I've said that before, and maybe we get that at the end of the season, but I don't know, it's probably not going to happen because I think the Discovery uniforms are too well known at this point. Really like what's going on with the Discovery, and really looking forward to seeing Discovery in action when it leaves that weird future space bubble space dock thing. It's not just the technology that I'm really enjoying as well, it's the relationships, continuing the trend that we've seen in previous episodes. I think enough time was given this week with regards to some of the relationships on the ship. So Stamets and Adira had a lovely moment towards the end of the episode, which I really enjoyed and really kind of helped flesh out Adira, what Adira's going through, and also to an extent kind of going through what Stamets went through with Hugh, which kind of hasn't really been talked about enough, really, I feel. And they were able to stick some stuff in this episode to deal with that. And Stamets and Hugh had a lovely scene towards the end. And I mean, I've said this before, I think Stamets and Culber are one of the best LGBT relationships that we see on TV. It's just so wonderfully presented, and I want more of it. So more, please. I'm also really enjoying what the show is attempting to do with its nods to existing canon and the universe that we know and love. I mean, Discovery did this in the first two seasons as well, with kind of subtle winks and nods to characters and places that we had seen and heard of before. But I really feel like they've taken it to another level in season 3, and I love what we're seeing with the constant kind of nods, map locations, and just the tiny small details that aren't really on the nose, but hardcore fans can watch these episodes and go, that's cool, I really like that. I was also there for the comedic moments as well. Everything with Tilly and Grudge. Spin-off, make it happen. Tilly and Grudge, I loved it. I'm there for it. I also liked Linus's kind of constant jumps in and out, and you know, I like it when a show like Discovery, which in the past has had tonal issues, it's too serious. I think it's finding a good balance now. It can strike the balance between overly dramatic and comedic in the same episode, and I feel like they've got that balance right. More Linus jumping around the ship, please. Running gag. I was also really intrigued with Burnham's removal of the badge at the end of the show. Now, it was really interesting to me. It felt very symbolic with regards to the development of what's going on with her this season and her constant banging of heads with Saru, and obviously, you know, her insubordination has finally been kind of punished. I mean, she's been punished in the past, but in this season, you know, being demoted, and the removal of the badge, very, very interesting. One theory is by the end of the season, Burnham is no longer in Starfleet, and perhaps the removal of the badge is the gesture towards that, and that's perhaps my theory coming true. But the other theory as well is Burnham may leave the show. Sonequa Barton Green might leave the show completely. I don't think that's going to happen. I think she's probably going to stay on for a little bit longer. I hope so. She's a good actress, and I like the Burnham character. But I do think that what we're going to see is, if the Federation is going to be a thing, I think Burnham is going to be the sacrificial lamb to make the whole thing happen, and I think she's going to have to go beyond the rules and regulations to bring everybody together, and I know that's probably going to piss off a lot of people like, oh, Burnham's the centre of everything. She is. Let's talk about the stuff that I didn't like, because there was quite a bit in this episode. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the story, the whole kind of go a place, get captured, see stuff, hatch an escape plan, escape. I've seen it too many times. I've seen it too many times in Star Trek. I've seen it too many times in Discovery, and it's a played concept, and you know, I appreciate in the future the place is like a Wild West again, and there's a lot of lawlessness and there's a lot of death and danger and stuff, but you can tell stories in other ways. You don't have to just constantly fall back on these tropes. I also didn't like the neck stuff and the fence. You know, I've seen it too many times. You know, I've watched too many films, I know, but you know, it just reminded me of The Running Man and Battle Royale, and those films they just did it better, and it's just lazy stuff really, that you can tell stories in different ways. You don't have to have necks and stuff that explode, but you know, that's just me. Also not really a fan of the villains in this piece, and by extension the Emerald Chain don't seem that interesting to me. They just seem like a piratey, crimey, wimey organisation who are just gonna twirl their moustaches and just be evil because evil stuff. I like complicated villains, I like complex villains, I like the shades of grey that we saw in Deep Space Nine and perhaps even in Enterprise with Shran, and I like complex characters basically. And Discovery has always struggled with regards to its antagonists. They've usually just been evil. And I'd like to see them take steps to be, you know, a little bit more layered. On the subject of villains, I still struggle with Georgiou. It felt to me like the show is attempting to make us sympathise with her character. She is a tyrannical despot who ruled an entire galaxy and is beyond redemption. She is from the Terran universe. They're all evil. They're all evil. And I don't want to sympathise with her at all, you know. And I know shows in the past have taken villain characters and they've turned them into protagonists. We've seen it with The Walking Dead with Negan, and I think we saw it with Zachary Quinto's character in Heroes. I can't remember, it's been a long time since I watched that. I don't want to feel sympathy for this character. I have been programmed my entire life to fear and run away from the Mirror Universe counterparts, and that's how I will always be. Oh, there we go. There are my initial thoughts on Discovery's latest episode, Scavengers. All in all, I don't think this is going to surprise you. I think it was the weakest episode of the season so far. It wasn't a disaster though. There's still some good things in there. I think that by and large though, the biggest problem is that the story just didn't really grab me. And you know, the tropes of, you know, going somewhere and getting captured and having to escape is stuff that I've seen before, and quite frankly, I find that stuff quite boring now. It's probably also the fact that the last two episodes were tremendous. Really, really good. So this episode was always going to struggle. I still feel like Discovery's on the right tracks. I still feel like the Renaissance is on. All in all, season 3 is a much better product so far. So I remain optimistic that Discovery is still on course. You don't have to hit a home run or a slam dunk every single week. And you know, I'm more than happy to just take this one as a lesser episode. For that reason, I'm going to give Star Trek Discovery's Scavengers 2 Starfleet Deltas out of 5. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so for more videos like this coming very, very soon. I've been Michael, aka the TrekLad. You've been awesome. I'll see you next time. Live long and prosper.